We owe it all to Andy Warhol and to Anita Bryant.
Hello, and welcome to the Tour Project. I'm Project Manager Eric Solomon. For this stop on the tour, navigate to 869 Virginia Avenue Northeast, Atlanta, Georgia, 30306. This is the site of the John Howell Memorial Park. Named in 1989, the John Howell Memorial Park, like the nearby Ray Kluka Memorial Park, is among the oldest public spaces honoring an LGBTQIA+ person in the South. The park's namesake is local activist and social worker John Howell. Along with serving as the president of the Georgia ACLU and working with drug and alcohol users, Howell notably was an important figure in the cancellation of the Interstate 485 project. As the plaque at the John Howell Memorial Park reads, the 3-acre John Howell Park was once the site of 12 homes, which were demolished to make way for Interstate 485, a proposed expressway project which sliced through the heart of the Virginia Highland community. The homes of the people who once lived here are now recognized with their former addresses on the granite monuments lining Virginia Avenue. John Howell, a city activist and neighborhood resident, was part of the community leadership that halted the ill-fated highway. John's adult life was filled with causes which required personal sacrifice and for social justice. He died in 1988 due to complications from HIV infection. Plantings at the John Howell Memorial Park were completed by the Living AIDS Memorial Park Project. Here's Dave Hayward with more on John Howell and the John Howell Memorial Park.
The Ray Kluka Park, as we said, is on Monroe Drive at Greenwood Avenue, a small triangle park. And just down the street from it on Virginia Avenue is the John Hall Park, which is also named for a gay man who was also the head of the Virginia Highland Neighborhood Association. And one of the reasons that park is so much larger than the Ray Kluka Park is the city fathers or whatever, the powers that be, were going to build a superhighway, I-485, that was going to run through the center of Virginia Highland and, of course, decimate the neighborhood. And the Virginia Highland Neighborhood Association, I'm sure with the Midtown Neighborhood Association, rose up against it. And John Hall was one of the leaders of that as the Virginia Highland president of the Neighborhood Association. And John was also very active in LGBT rights. And when you see his park and you see the marker at his park, it talks about all the different things that he did in terms of neighborhood work. But it doesn't talk about him being part of legislative equality for gay and lesbians, legal, and the Southeastern Arts and Media Education Group, SAME, and all the different things he did, the Georgia AIDS Action Council. So, yes, he was a neighborhood activist in the Virginia Highland Neighborhood Association, but he's also a major activist in terms of LGBTQ rights. And as I said earlier, he was on the board of the first Atlanta Gay and Lesbian Center. Actually, there was a Gay and Lesbian Center before that, but it was a very informal one. It was something that we basically organized in the basement of a building that Bill Smith owned or rented offices in on 4th Street off of West Peachtree. And it was a lot more formal in 1978 because we raised so much money fighting Anita Bryant that we had a lot of seed money to actually have the wherewithal to have a more formal Atlanta Gay and Lesbian Center starting in 1978. So John was a big part of all that work that took place. He had lived here most of his life. I think was originally from the area, and it was really shocking to me when I went to Atlanta Pride in 1988, and I heard Rebecca Ranson speak at the rally in Piedmont Park, and she talked about John being in the hospital and fighting complications of AIDS, and he later did pass away. And that was one of the things that we just went through that whole decade of one person after another who contracted HIV, and just the incredible decimation of so many people passing away, especially people like Ray Kluka and John Howell, who were really major leaders in our community. Not only in our community, but also in the community at large, as the neighborhood associations. Um, so just an incredible, incredible loss of folks. Um, but I'll always remember him too as being just a really good guy and a really nice man. And one of the things that he said to me one time was, he said, "Dave, you always show up. You always keep coming out. You always show up for events." And I said, "Yeah, it's like I'm sort of a diehard activist, and you are too." And here we are.
Thank you for joining us on this stop of the Tour Project. For more information, visit tourqueeratlanta.org. That's TUOR queeratlanta.org.